Hey, no, the gold one says to me. You talk about bloody Band-Aid. I reckon I've just invented chair aid. Any luck, I might get an OBE out of this.
The last in the series is next Thursday evening at 9:30, when Alf is showered with cupboard love and compliments on his virility, a sight not to be missed. In an hour, Barry Norman with Film 86 and previews of Top Gun starring Tom Cruise and The Good Father with Anthony Hopkins, as well as the rest of the news from around the studios. Before that, on BBC One, we join Robin Day in Blackpool.
Good evening and welcome to the second of our special question times from the party conferences. Tonight we're in Blackpool at the Labour Party conference in the Norbreck Castle Hotel. And we have an invited audience here of mixed political views, not only Labour, ready to put their questions on topical issues. And around the table with me we have four front-rank political figures, of whom you will see a good deal more from now on as the election draws near. The Right Honourable Roy Hattersley, MP, Deputy Leader of the Labour Party and Shadow Chancellor. He's in charge of Labour's spending and taxation plans. This week, Mr Hattersley here said that Labour would win the next election by proving that socialism is common sense. And also Mr Hattersley has emphatically declared that Labour has no intention of joining coalitions with any party. Mr David Blunkett was top of the poll for Labour's National Executive this week, and he's leader of Sheffield City Council. He warned at the start of the conference that Labour must not, quote, go mad over moderation. Mr Blunkett also gave his views on what the standard rate of income tax would have to be under a Labour government, but Mr Hattersley promptly retorted, Mr Blunkett is not going to be Chancellor of the Exchequer. I am. You'll note, incidentally, that Mr Blunkett is, as usual, accompanied by his faithful guide dog, Ted, who helps him to go either left or right, as the case may be. The Right Honourable Norman Tebbit MP is chairman of the Conservative Party, and he has his party conference in Bournemouth next week. He said last week that he was ready to have the general election at any time, even, he said, on Christmas Day, if necessary. After a bad electoral year for the Tories, Mr Tebbit's style of chairmanship, robust to his admirers, raucous to his critics, has been under fire, but he has kept his job, and he doesn't seem to have changed, as you may find from his verdicts on this Labour conference. The Right Honourable Shirley Williams, President of the Social Democratic Party. It's 6 years since Shirley Williams was here in Blackpool at a Labour Party conference with Roy Hattersley and her other then colleagues in the Labour cabinet. That was just before she left to found the SDP with David, Roy and Bill. Shirley Williams, incidentally, is said to be rather pleased on one occasion when Norman Tebbit once described her as the most dangerous woman in British politics. There we are, and here we go with our first question from Katrina Gass. You may have another one in mind now. Katrina Gass.
Yes, I'd like to ask the panel what they think about Labour's conference decision this week to confirm its unilateral defence policy. How do they think the electorate are going to respond to this, and will it win votes?
Mr Tebbit.
Well, I think the important question is what one thinks of it first, and then one considers the electoral aspects afterwards, because I think that if you start thinking, what will the voters think, instead of saying what you think, you're going to be in big trouble as a politician sooner or later. I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong for several reasons. Firstly, it's impractical. And secondly, and perhaps most important of all, is that it would undermine the NATO alliance. And when one thinks back that